The giant windows of the Galactic Council chamber showed the spiral arms of the galaxy in all their glory. 200 alien representatives sat in curved rows, their bodies of all shapes and sizes. Some had tentacles, others had wings, and a few were just clouds of gas in special containers. At the center of the chamber stood Admiral Zix Toril. He was tall, with blue skin and 6 arms. His voice boomed across the chamber as he pointed at the hologram of a small blue planet. "This species must be stopped now," he said. "Humans are spreading too fast. They have gone from simple tools to space travel in just a few thousand years. No other species has ever moved so quickly." The council leader, a thin creature with golden eyes, tapped a long finger on the table. "Do we have proof they are dangerous to us?" Admiral Zixu Toril played a video showing humans throughout history. It showed wars, battles, and weapons getting bigger and more deadly over time. They fight all the time. Even now, when they have enough food and homes for everyone, they still fight. Imagine what they will do when they meet other species and want their planets and resources. The council members whispered to each other. Most nodded in agreement. "And look at this," the admiral continued. "They are already planning to leave their solar system." The hologram changed to show human spaceships and bases on Mars and the Moon. If we wait even 50 more years, it will be too late. They will be among the stars. The council leader looked troubled. "What do you suggest?" "We must act now. A quick, powerful attack to push them back to their planet. Then we can control how fast they grow and make sure they never threaten galactic peace." The council voted. The decision was almost unanimous. War against humans would begin right away. Far away on Earth, in a NASA control room in Houston, Heather Mills stared at her screen with a confused look on her face. She was 32 with short brown hair and eyes that missed nothing. Her job was to watch for signals from deep space. "That's weird," she said to herself. The computer was picking up energy spikes from beyond Pluto. They weren't like anything she had seen before. She called over her boss, Frank Peters. He was older with gray at his temples and reading glasses that sat on the end of his nose. "What have you got?" he asked. "Not sure. These energy readings don't match any natural space event we know of. They started about 3 hours ago and keep getting stronger." Frank looked at the numbers and frowned. "Could be a sensor problem. Run a diagnostic." "Already did. Twice. Everything is working fine." Frank scratched his chin. "Let's get the team in California to check it too. If they see the same thing, we'll take it upstairs." Neither of them seemed worried. Strange readings from space happened all the time. Usually there was a simple explanation. What they didn't know was that they were detecting the approach of the largest war fleet ever gathered in the galaxy. On the flagship of that fleet, Admiral Zix Toril looked at Earth on his view screen. His second-in-command, Commander Vex, stood beside him. "The humans have not detected us yet," said Vex. "Our stealth systems are working perfectly." The Admiral nodded. "Good. The surprise will make this quick and easy." "Sir, I studied the human files more closely," said Vex. "There is something strange about them." "What do you mean?" "They have stories, thousands of them, about alien invasions. They have been imagining this exact situation for over 100 years. The Admiral laughed. "Imagination is not preparation, Commander. They can imagine all they want. Their weapons are still primitive compared to ours." "Yes, sir. But there's more. Even though they fight among themselves, they always unite when faced with outside threats, at least in their stories." "Stories are not reality," said the Admiral. "When they see our ships, they will panic and surrender. That is what every species does when faced with a superior force." Commander Vex wasn't so sure, but he kept quiet. Back on Earth, life went on as normal. People went to work, children went to school, and no one had any idea that aliens had just declared war on them. In New York City, Sam Baker was stuck in traffic on his way to work. He was a normal guy with a normal job as an insurance agent. He sipped his coffee and listened to the news on the radio. The top stories were about a political scandal, sports scores, and the weather. In Los Angeles, Olivia Green taught her 5th grade class about the solar system. "And who can tell me which planet has the famous red spot?" she asked. "Jupiter," Several children shouted at once. Very good, she smiled. In Chicago, police officer Joe Martinez walked his beat downtown. It was a quiet morning. He stopped for a donut and chatted with the shop owner about the Cubs' chances this season. None of them knew that high above the earth, alien ships were getting into position. None of them knew that humanity was about to face its greatest challenge ever. At NASA, Heather Mills was growing more concerned. The strange energy readings were now being picked up by 3 different space monitoring stations around the world. "Frank, this is real," she said. "And it's getting closer." Frank Peters had called in the head of their department, Dr. Linda Carson. The 3 of them looked at the data with growing unease. "Whatever it is, it's big," said Dr. Carson, "and it's moving with purpose. You think it might be—" Heather couldn't finish the sentence. "Intelligent life?" Dr. Carson completed the thought. "It's looking more likely by the minute." Frank reached for the phone. "I'm calling Washington. They need to know about this now." Within hours, the president was briefed. Top military officials gathered in the Situation Room. NASA shared everything they knew, which wasn't much. "How long until whatever it is reaches Earth?" asked the president. "At its current speed, less than 24 hours, replied the NASA director. The president looked around the table at the serious faces. "Options? We have no military options against something this advanced," said the general. "All we can do is prepare for contact and hope they're friendly." The president nodded. "And if they're not friendly?" No one had a good answer for that. 12. Hours later, the alien ships dropped their stealth shields. Suddenly, they appeared on radar, on telescope images, and even to the naked eye as bright spots in the daytime sky. The invasion of Earth had begun, but humans were about to surprise their attackers in ways the Galactic Council never imagined. The news of alien ships appearing in Earth's skies spread fast. Every TV channel, website, and radio station reported on it. People around the world looked up and saw the strange ships hovering high above. On Mars, things were more serious. The human colony there had lost all contact with Earth. Colonel Alan Rogers stood outside the main habitat dome and watched as 3 huge alien ships moved into position above them. "Everyone inside now," he ordered his team. The 23 Mars colonists hurried into the safety of the dome. "What do we do, Colonel?" asked his second-in-command, Lisa Grant. "We wait. We see what they want. And we prepare for the worst." Alan's face was calm, but his mind was racing. The colony had limited weapons, just enough to deal with emergencies. Nothing that could fight alien spaceships. Back on Earth, the President of the United States sat in the Oval Office. An aide handed her a tablet. On it was a message translated by NASA computers. It had been sent from the alien ships to all major Earth governments at the same time. The president read it, and her face grew pale. "They're declaring war on us," she said to her advisors. "They call themselves the Galactic Council. They say our violent tendencies and uncontrolled expansion are a threat to galactic peace." "Why now?" asked the Secretary of Defense. "We've barely left our own solar system. They say they want to stop us before we spread further." The president set down the tablet. "They're giving us 12 hours to surrender or they'll start attacking military targets." The news went public an hour later. Around the world, people reacted to the idea that aliens existed, had been watching them, and now wanted to go to war. But the reaction wasn't what anyone expected, least of all the aliens. In New York City, Sam Baker saw the news on his phone while still stuck in traffic. "Aliens, huh?" he said to himself. He looked up at the sky, saw a distant shape that wasn't a plane or a cloud, and shrugged. Then he called his boss to say he'd be late for work because of the traffic. In Los Angeles, Olivia Green's 5th grade class was buzzing with excitement. "Does this mean we don't have to do the math test tomorrow?" one boy asked hopefully. "Nice try, Kevin," Olivia said with a smile. "The test is still on. Now who wants to draw what they think the aliens look like?" In Chicago, Officer Joe Martinez helped set up barriers to keep people from gathering in large groups downtown. But there wasn't much panic. Some people took photos of the ships, Some street vendors were already selling t-shirts with "I survived the alien invasion" printed on them. Around the world, it was much the same. People were surprised, curious, even excited. But there wasn't much fear. After all, humans had been thinking about aliens for a very long time. Movies, books, TV shows had prepared them for this moment in ways they didn't even realize. On the alien flagship, Admiral Zix Toril watched the human response with confusion. "I don't understand," he said to Commander Vex. "Why aren't they panicking? We've revealed ourselves. We've declared war. Yet they go about their daily tasks as if nothing important has happened." Vex studied the reports coming in from their observation. Drones. "It is strange, sir. There are no mass evacuations, no widespread chaos. Their military forces are on alert, but their civilians seem almost disinterested." "Show me their information networks," the Admiral ordered. Screens lit up showing human TV channels, websites, and social media. The aliens saw news reports about themselves, but also saw that these reports shared space with sports scores, celebrity gossip, and weather forecasts. "They're treating us as just another news item," the Admiral said in disbelief. "Do they not understand the danger they are in?" "Sir," Vex said cautiously, "I think they might understand better than we expected. Look at this." He showed the Admiral images of humans wearing shirts with alien faces, stores selling alien toys, and children playing games pretending to fight aliens. "They're making entertainment out of our arrival," Vex explained. "They've been imagining scenarios like this for so long that the reality is almost familiar to them." The Admiral's face darkened. "Then we must show them this is not a game. Begin the attack. Target their Mars colony first." On Mars, Colonel Rogers and his team watched as one of the alien ships fired a beam of light at an empty supply building half a mile from the main habitat. The building exploded into dust. The alien ship then sent a message. "This is a demonstration. Surrender your colony or we will destroy your habitat dome next." Rogers gathered his team. "Options? We can't fight back," said Lisa. "But we have the underground shelters. If we can get to them before they hit the dome, we might survive." Rogers nodded. "Start moving everyone to the shelters, quietly. Make it look like normal activity." Back on the alien ship, Admiral Zix Toril waited for the humans on Mars to panic and surrender. Instead, they seemed to be going about their normal routines. "They're ignoring our warning," he said with anger. "Sir," said Vex, "I think they're evacuating to their underground facilities. Look at the movement patterns." The Admiral slammed his fist down. "They're adapting, preparing, not surrendering." He turned to his weapons officer. "Destroy their dome, now." The alien ship fired again. The beam hit the dome and the transparent material shattered. The Martian atmosphere was too thin to breathe. Without the dome, the colonists would die. But when the alien sensors checked for life signs, they found none in the main habitat. "The humans escaped to their underground shelters," Vex reported. "All 23 colonists are still alive." The Admiral was furious. "How did they move so quickly?" "I think they were ready for something like this," Vex said. "They had plans. Preparations." On Earth, news of the attack on Mars spread quickly. The mood changed. People were still not panicking, but there was anger now. The president held an emergency meeting with world leaders. "We need to show a united front," she said. "The aliens think we'll be easy to defeat. We need to prove them wrong." The United Nations quickly voted to create a unified Earth defense force, combining the military might of all nations. Meanwhile, scientists worked day and night studying the alien ships, looking for weaknesses. They had been preparing for this possibility for decades, with secret programs and theories about alien technology. Joe Martinez, the Chicago police officer, found himself called back to his National Guard unit. As he put on his uniform, his wife, Karen, hugged him. "Be careful out there," she said. "Hey, we've been preparing for alien invasion since War of the Worlds," Joe said with a smile. "We've got this." All across Earth, humans prepared for war. Not with fear, but with determination. The aliens had made a serious mistake. They thought humanity would break easily under pressure. They were about to learn how wrong they were. 2 weeks after the aliens declared war, life on Earth had changed, but not in the way the Galactic Council expected. Instead of hiding in fear, humans had adapted. People still went to work and school, but now they had new routines. They practiced emergency drills. They learned about alien technology from news reports. They watched the skies. The alien ships had attacked military bases around the world. They destroyed empty aircraft carriers and missile silos. But every time they attacked, they found fewer weapons and soldiers than their scans had shown should be there. Somehow the humans were moving their forces just before each attack. Admiral Zix Toril paced on the bridge of his flagship. How are they predicting our attacks? Their technology is not advanced enough to detect our targeting systems. Commander Vex studied a report. Sir, I think they are watching our ship movements. They've noticed patterns in how we position ourselves before we strike. That's impossible, the Admiral said. No species has ever figured out our tactics so quickly. The humans have a game called chess, Vex explained. They think many moves ahead, and they have another game called poker, where they look for tells, small signs that reveal what their opponent will do next. The Admiral frowned. They're treating war like a game? Not exactly, sir. They're using game thinking to understand warfare. And it's working. On Earth, in a secret underground base in Colorado, Heather Mills from NASA now worked with military intelligence. She and a team of experts studied every move the aliens made. They're coming back to the Pacific, she told her team, pointing at tracking data on a large screen. Every third day they attack something in that region. But we've moved everything important away from there, said a general. Exactly, Heather said. So this time, let's give them something to find. In the Pacific Ocean, the aliens detected what looked like a secret submarine base hidden under an island. They attacked immediately, using a powerful energy weapon that cut through rock. What they found was an empty cave with a large banner that read, "Try again." On the alien ship, Admiral Zix Toril was furious. They're mocking us. Meanwhile, at the Mars colony, the humans had not only survived in their underground shelters, they had started fighting back. Using mining equipment, they had dug tunnels and set traps for alien ground forces. When the aliens sent robots to capture the humans, the colonists led them into tunnel collapses and ambushes. Colonel Rogers and his team had even managed to capture an alien scout ship that had landed too close to their hidden entrance. They were now studying its technology. The power source is amazing, Lisa Grant told the colonel as they examined the ship. It's like nothing we've ever seen. But the control systems are simpler than I expected. Can we use any of this? Rogers asked. Yes. Give me a week and I'll have some surprises ready for our unwelcome visitors. Back on Earth, scientists were making their own discoveries. They had collected debris from destroyed alien ships and were reverse engineering the technology. In a lab in Boston, Dr. Kevin Washington led a team working day and night. The aliens use a different approach to physics than we do, he explained to visiting military officers. Not better, just different. Once we understood their basic principles, we found ways to disrupt their systems. Dr. Washington held up a small device. This jammer can disable their weapons for about 30 seconds. Not long, but enough time for our fighters to get close. The Earth Defense Force now had a plan. Instead of trying to match the aliens' advanced technology, they would use human ingenuity and the aliens' own assumptions against them. Admiral Zix Toril received a message from the Galactic Council. They were not happy with his progress. You assured us this would be a quick victory, said the council leader. Yet 3 weeks have passed, and the humans still resist. Worse, they seem to be learning from each encounter. They are more adaptable than we expected, the Admiral admitted. But we are still far more powerful. They cannot win. Perhaps. But this war is costing more than we planned. Finish it quickly, Admiral, or we will send someone who can. After the call ended, Commander Vex approached. Sir, we've detected a large gathering of human ships in their Atlantic Ocean. It appears to be a significant portion of their navy. The Admiral smiled for the first time in days. Finally, a real target. Prepare all ships for attack. We will Destroy their navy in one strike and show them the true meaning of galactic power. The alien fleet moved into position above the Atlantic. Below them were dozens of human ships all clustered together. They're making this too easy, the admiral said. Fire when ready. The alien ships launched their attack. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes rained down on the human fleet. But when the smoke cleared, the alien sensors showed something impossible. The ships were still there, undamaged. What happened? The admiral demanded. Sir, Vex said, his voice filled with surprise. Those aren't real ships. They're inflatable decoys, fakes. Where is their real navy? Before Vex could answer, alarms sounded throughout the alien fleet. From the ocean depths, real human submarines had launched hundreds of missiles. Each missile carried one of Dr. Washington's jammers. As the jammers activated, alien ship systems began failing. Shields went down. Weapons stopped working. Communications were cut off. Then, from hidden bases on nearby coasts, human fighter jets streaked toward the alien ships. They were older models, with no digital systems that the aliens could hack. They were piloted by men and women who had trained for this moment. The jets fired missiles at the now vulnerable alien ships. 3 smaller alien vessels exploded. For the first time since the war began, the humans had destroyed alien ships. In the Colorado Command Center, cheers erupted as they watched the battle unfold on their screens. It worked, someone shouted. Heather Mills didn't cheer. She watched the data coming in, already thinking about what the aliens would do next. This is just the beginning, she said quietly. Now they'll take us seriously. On the damaged alien flagship, Admiral Zix Toril stared at the reports in shock. The humans had tricked them, used their confidence against them, and now Galactic. Council ships had been destroyed by a species that had only recently discovered space travel. Sir, Commander Vex said, should we retreat and regroup? The Admiral's 6 fists clenched. No, we cannot show weakness. Prepare our ground forces. If we cannot defeat them from space, we will face them on their own world. The real war was about to begin. The alien ground invasion began 1 month after the war started. Transport ships landed in remote areas of Africa, Asia, and South America. Thousands of alien soldiers emerged, wearing armor that made them nearly invisible. The Galactic Council, forces expected to find scared humans hiding in their homes. Instead, they walked into traps. In the Brazilian rainforest, alien troops moved toward a small city. Their sensors showed it was full of people, but when they arrived, they found empty buildings and recordings playing human sounds. Then the ground beneath them exploded. Local farmers had planted old-fashioned mines that contained no electronics for alien tech to detect. Simple but effective. In the mountains of Nepal, alien soldiers searched for a secret human base. They didn't notice the local guides watching them. People who had lived in these mountains for generations knew every trail, every cave, every hiding spot. That night, as the aliens made camp, rocks tumbled down on them from above. Not an avalanche, but a carefully planned attack by humans who knew the terrain. Admiral Zix Toril received bad news from every landing site. His soldiers were being picked off by enemies they rarely saw. The humans don't fight the way we expected, reported a field commander. They don't meet us in open battle, they strike quickly and then vanish. Cowards, said the admiral. No, sir, said Commander Vex. It's a strategy called guerrilla warfare. They've used it throughout their history when fighting stronger enemies, and it works. At the United Nations in New York, world leaders met with the top scientists and military experts. Dorothy Palmer, the UN secretary, led the meeting. The aliens have superior technology, she said, but they have weaknesses too. They expected us to be primitive and afraid. Their plans didn't account for human creativity and determination. Dr. Kevin Washington presented his latest findings. We've found 3 key weaknesses in their systems. Their ships can't operate well in extreme cold. Their communications get confused by certain radio frequencies. And their soldiers have poor night vision compared to humans. Secretary Palmer nodded. Then we will use these weaknesses. We'll draw them to cold regions. We'll disrupt their communications, and we'll fight them in the dark. The plan spread across the globe. Humans shared information faster than the aliens could track it. The internet became humanity's secret weapon. People posted videos showing how to spot invisible alien soldiers. They shared tips on making weapons that worked against alien armor. Everyone from military experts to teenage hackers joined the fight. In his small Chicago apartment, Sam Baker watched these videos. He had lost his insurance job when an alien ship destroyed his office building. But he had skills the war effort needed. "I used to find patterns in data to spot insurance fraud," he told an Army recruiter. "I bet I can find patterns in alien ship movements too." Soon, Sam was part of a global network of data analysts tracking the alien fleet. Normal people using normal computers, but working together in ways the aliens never expected. In space, things were changing too. The Mars colonists had turned their mining equipment into weapons. They attacked alien supply ships that came too close to the planet. Colonel Rogers and Lisa Grant had figured out how to power their tools with the alien engine they captured. Now they could work longer and dig faster. Their underground base grew, larger every day. "We've connected all the shelters," Lisa told the colonel, "and we found a way to produce more oxygen." "Good," said Rogers, "because I think we're going to be here a while." On Earth, the alien ground forces were taking heavy losses. They had advanced weapons, but they were fighting on unfamiliar terrain against an enemy that knew every inch of it. Admiral Zixitoral ordered more troops to land. He was determined to win this war no matter the cost. "We will overwhelm them with numbers," he told his commanders. "They cannot keep fighting forever." But even as he spoke, a new problem emerged. The humans had figured out how to jam the signals between alien ships. Suddenly, the giant fleet couldn't coordinate its attacks. In the Colorado Command Center, Heather Mills watched as the alien ships drifted into disarray. "It's working," she said. "Their fleet formations are breaking down." Her team had discovered that playing certain sequences of Earth music on powerful transmitters confused the alien navigation systems. It was a simple trick that no advanced civilization would expect. "Who knew that heavy metal would save the world?" joked a technician. Heather smiled, but her mind was already on the next problem. "The aliens still have more firepower than all Earth armies combined. We need something bigger." "Like what?" asked her colleague. "Remember how Dr. Washington said their ships can't handle extreme cold? I think it's time we lead them into a trap in Antarctica." The plan was set in motion. Human forces made a show of moving important equipment to research stations in Antarctica. It was bait, and the aliens took it. Admiral Zixitoral ordered a massive attack on the frozen continent. Hundreds of ships moved into position above the ice. "This time, we will crush them," he said. No more clever tricks. But the humans had one. More trick-ready. As the alien fleet moved into the upper atmosphere over Antarctica, Earth's most powerful radio telescopes aimed upward. Modified to work as weapons, they broadcast focused energy waves at exact frequencies that disrupted alien power systems. At the same time, special rockets launched from submarines fired not explosives, but chemicals that created storm clouds of supercooled particles. The alien ships suddenly found themselves flying through air cold enough to freeze their engine intakes. Their power systems failed from the radio disruption. Many ships crashed into the empty ice below. In the command center, cheers erupted as radar showed alien ships falling. "It worked," Heather said, hardly believing their success. "How many did we get?" asked the general. "Early counts show at least 30 ships down," replied a radar operator. "No human casualties." For the first time, the aliens were truly on the defensive. They had never expected to lose ships to a species that couldn't even travel beyond its own solar system. On the damaged alien flagship, Admiral Zixitoral faced a difficult decision. His fleet was scattered. His ground forces were being defeated. And now the Galactic Council was demanding answers. "We underestimated them," Commander Vex said quietly. "Perhaps it is time to consider a different approach." The Admiral looked at the hologram of Earth spinning below them. Such a small planet, such a young species. How had they caused so much trouble? "Prepare a message to their leaders," he finally said. "I will speak with them directly." The war had reached a turning point, but neither side knew what would happen next. The meeting took place on a neutral ship halfway between the Moon and Earth. Admiral Zix Toril arrived with Commander Vex and 2 guards. Secretary Dorothy Palmer represented Earth, along with Heather Mills, Dr. Kevin Washington, and a military general. The humans showed no fear as they faced the aliens who had attacked their world. Palmer was calm and focused as she sat across from the blue-skinned, 6-armed admiral. "You wanted to talk," she said simply. "We are here." Admiral Zix Toril studied the humans carefully. "You have fought well for a young species, better than we expected." "We've had lots of practice," Palmer replied. "Humans have been fighting each other for our entire history." "Yes, that is why we considered you dangerous. Your violent nature—" Palmer cut him off. "Our nature is not just violent. We can be peaceful, too. We choose how to act, and right now we're choosing to defend our home." The Admiral leaned forward. "The Galactic Council has ruled that your expansion must be contained. You are spreading too quickly." Dr. Washington laughed. "We have exactly 1 colony beyond Earth, 1 small base on Mars. How is that spreading too quickly?" "It is not where you are now, but where you will be," said the Admiral. "Our predictive models show that humans will reach 100 star systems within just 300 years. No other species has ever expanded at such a rate." Heather Mills spoke up. "Have you considered that might be a good thing? That we might bring new ideas, new perspectives to your council?" Commander Vex looked interested, but the Admiral waved the idea away. "The council has decided. We cannot allow such rapid growth from a species with your history of conflict." Palmer sighed. "Admiral, let me tell you something about humans. We don't always get along with each other. We fight over resources, beliefs, even simple misunderstandings. But when faced with an outside threat, we unite. Your war has done what nothing else could. It has brought all humans together." "And look what happened," added the general. "You attacked us with your advanced technology, your massive fleet. You expected an easy victory. Instead, you've lost ships, soldiers, and still haven't conquered even 1 major city." The Admiral's face showed anger but also confusion. "How? How did you adapt so quickly? How did you find our weaknesses so fast?" "Because that's what humans do," said Dr. Washington. "We solve problems. We learn. We adapt. When faced with a challenge, we don't give up. We find a way forward. And," added Palmer with a small smile, "we've been thinking about aliens for a very long time. Science fiction, movies, books, we've imagined this meeting for generations. In a way, we were ready for you before you even arrived." The room fell silent as the Admiral considered her words. Finally, he spoke. "The war is costing the Council more than expected. If it continues, we will eventually win through sheer numbers and technology. But the cost will be high for both sides." "Then perhaps there's another way," Palmer suggested. "One that doesn't require either of us to win or lose." 3 days later, a new message went out to all human settlements, from Earth to Mars. The war was ending. The Galactic Council and Earth had reached an agreement. In Times Square, New York, giant screens showed Secretary Palmer and Admiral Zix Toril signing the treaty. People watched while eating hot dogs and taking selfies with the alien ships still visible in the sky. "So what's the deal?" Sam Baker asked a friend as they watched. "Basically, they stop attacking us, and we agree to certain rules about how we expand into space," his friend explained. "We can't just claim any planet we want. There's a process now," Sam nodded. "Seems fair, better than being blown up." Across the world, people reacted to the news with relief but not much surprise. Most had gotten used to the idea of aliens, even alien enemies. Now they would get used to alien neighbors. On Mars, Colonel Rogers and his team finally emerged from their underground shelters. They stood on the red soil and looked up at the alien ships now peacefully orbiting the planet. "Think we can trust them?" Lisa asked. Rogers shrugged. "Trust needs to be earned, but I think they learned something important about humans." "What's that?" "That we're not easily scared and we're really bad at giving up." On the alien flagship, Admiral Zix Toril prepared his report to the Galactic Council. Commander Vex helped him find the right words. "The humans are unusual," the Admiral dictated. They do not react like other species. They adapt quickly, they work together despite their differences, and they seem to thrive under pressure. Should we mention how they turned their weaknesses into strengths? Vex suggested. Yes. Their limited technology forced them to be creative. Their divided nations became an advantage in guerrilla warfare. Their history of conflict gave them countless strategies to draw upon. The Admiral paused, then added, I recommend that rather than containing them, we guide them. Their energy and innovation could benefit the Council if properly directed. 3 months after the war began, the first official human delegation visited the Galactic Council's main world. Secretary Palmer led the group, which included Heather Mills, Dr. Washington, and other humans who had helped defend Earth. The alien representatives watched with a mixture of curiosity and caution as the humans entered the Grand Chamber. Many had voted for the war, believing humans were too dangerous to join galactic society. Now they weren't so sure. Humans of Earth. The council leader greeted them. We welcome you as potential allies, though our introduction was unfortunate. Palmer stepped forward. We have a saying on Earth. Sometimes you have to fight before you can be friends. We fought. Now let's see if we can be friends. The leader seemed surprised by her directness. You do not fear us, even after seeing our power. Oh, we respect your power, Palmer said. But fear? No. Humans have faced extinction many times in our history, from nature, from ourselves, from disease. Each time we survived, each time we grew stronger. She smiled. Your war was just one more challenge, and honestly, it wasn't even the scariest thing that happened on Earth this year. The alien representatives looked at each other in confusion. Not the scariest thing? How could that be? As the formal meetings began, Commander Vex spoke quietly to Admiral Zix Toril. I think we made a mistake attacking them. Yes, the Admiral agreed, but perhaps a fortunate mistake in the long run. The galaxy needs species that cannot be easily conquered, that bring new ideas and approaches. Do you think the Council will accept them? The Admiral watched as the humans confidently took their seats at the galactic table. I think they will have no choice. The humans are here to stay. 1 year later, Earth had changed. Alien technology helped clean the environment and cure diseases. Human creativity helped solve problems the Council had struggled with for centuries. And on Mars, a new dome rose above the red planet's surface. Larger and stronger than before, built with both human determination and alien knowledge. Inside, Colonel Rogers and Lisa Grant watched as new colonists arrived from Earth. The underground shelters were now being expanded into a vast network of tunnels and rooms, a safe place if danger ever came again. Think we'll ever go to war with them again? Lisa asked. Rogers looked up at the stars visible through the dome. Maybe. But if we do, we'll be ready. And I think they know that now. The Galactic Council had started a war. Humanity had barely cared. And in not caring too much, in facing the threat with determination instead of fear, they had earned something no one expected: respect.